Beth Elland. Welcome to my channel. Today's class is going to be a really moderately challenging flow. We're going to work on building strength to open up. So in life, we know it usually takes a lot of strength to be open. And it's that way in yoga as well. In some of our postures, we're going to be working with Ardha Chandrasana, which is a kind of an intermediate balancing pose. Anybody can try it. Just make sure you have a block, or if you don't have a block, maybe set yourself up near a wall. Like either way, maybe set yourself up near a wall. It will be easier to help you balance. You can even lean up against the wall. And I'll talk more about that as we get there. But to begin, have your block near the top of the mat to use a little bit later. And if you'd like to sit on a cushion, just sit down on that, grab that, and then we'll use the cushion again at the end of class. So sit in a nice comfortable seat, maybe just cross legs or just sit it on your heels, whatever feels good for you. Maybe close the eyes and just welcome yourself to the mat today. Taking several deep breaths in and out through the nose, feeling the belly, and then the rest of the torso fill up with air and letting it all go. And try to breathe in and out for an even count, maybe a count of 4. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just on your own count, trying to make it slow and gentle. And if you like, you can place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and feel the air fill up the torso as you count on the inhale and exhale. Let it all release. Inhale, filling the belly, the ribs and the chest. And exhale, let it go. A few more deep breaths like this. Conscious, mindful breath, filling the lungs as far as they'll go without any strain. And after your next breath, we'll move into a tabletop pose and start off with some cat-cows. So if you're sitting on a cushion, move that out of the way. And come into your tabletop pose. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Spread your fingertips nice and wide. Tuck your toes under. Then as you inhale, roll the shoulder blades back and shine your chest forward, curling the tailbone up. Keep the abs pulled in. And exhale, curl the chin towards the chest, untuck the toes, and round the back. A few more like this. You can tuck the toes to come into your cow pose, or if you like just leaving your toes untucked, you can do that as well. And as you exhale, bring the navel up towards the spine, throwing the tailbone under. Last one. Broaden the collarbone, gaze forward, and exhale. Round it in. Good. Let's come to a neutral spine. We're going to do our bird dogs now. So bring the right leg back behind you, straight up, parallel to the mat. Toes pointed down, so your hips should be level. And if you like, bring your left arm forward, bicep along the ear. And really flex the foot and really like point the fingertips forward. So this energetic line goes from the heel of the foot out through the fingertips. Pulling the abs up and in. And exhale, drop that down. Opposite side, so left leg rises up. Really squeeze the thighs. Engage the abs again. And reach the right arm forward. Feeling this line of energy going through your body. And exhale. Hands and knees come back down. Let's do that twice more on each side. So right leg up. Really feel the abs and the muscles in the back engaging. Exhale. Inhale, left leg out, right arm forward. This is a slight balance as well. So hopefully if your knees are over your hips, or if your hips are over your knees and your shoulders are over your wrists, then you should be fine. But if you need to widen it a little bit, you can go for that. Inhale as you lift, and then exhale to lower. And the last one. We're going to come into a modified side plank now. So you can lift one leg back. So I'm lifting my left leg back this time. Drop your toes back kind of behind like the midpoint and then roll that ankle down, maybe bringing this right foot back behind you. And then turn to the side, lifting the arm up. So your hips and your shoulders are stacked, and then the hand, knee, and foot are all in one line. And you can stay here, or if you want to add a little challenge, you can lift the back leg up to kind of prep for what our Ardha Chandrasana will look like. So as you inhale, lift that back leg up, bringing it kind of parallel, and exhale, tap it down. Inhale, lift using the obliques here. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift once more, and exhale, lower. And then you can come back into your neutral table. And going to the other side, same thing, that modified side plank. So right leg comes up, tap that toe down, come to the inseam of that heel, and lift up. Reaching the arm to the ceiling, opening the chest, rolling that right shoulder blade back. And maybe you're staying here, or maybe you're doing your leg lifts. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And once more, bringing that leg parallel. And then back down. And come back to the table. Now you can tuck your toes under or push up into our downward facing dog. Hips lifted towards the back ceiling. Maybe pedal the legs out a bit. Make sure there's a strong line from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Spine is nice and long and straight. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the ceiling. Bend your knees, stack the hips, keeping the shoulders in line. Bring that leg back up, and then exhale. Bring your knee towards your nose and plant your foot in between your palms. And roll to the inseam of the left foot, kind of like we did before. And then cartwheel your arms up for your warrior two. So again, your feet are in line with each other. The back heel should be bisecting the heel of the front leg should be bisecting the arch of the back foot. We're going to hold this warrior two for a couple of breaths. So really ground in, like feel like both of your feet are growing roots and you're just rooting down into the mat. Make sure your knee is directly over your ankle. You should really start to feel this in your front thigh. Awesome. Maybe gazing over that front middle finger. I like to gaze really intently, like this is called a warrior. So I like to just like keep gazing over it with really, really great intention. Moving into Ardha bend your front arm and place your forearm over the front thigh and lift the left arm up overhead. So for today's class, I'm lifting my arm straight up. Most times in this pose, you'll see it down where you kind of match the diagonal line. And you can do that for a minute if you like. But for this class, I think we're gonna reach straight up because we're thinking about opening the chest. And if it doesn't feel comfortable with your arm on your side like this, you can use your block. Just put your hand on your block next to your leg. A couple more breaths here. Let's inhale, push yourself up through warrior. Then exhale, right arm up, left arm touches the back thigh for a reverse warrior. And really hold strong here. That front thigh should be on fire, but you are still breathing and calm. Let's inhale up, warrior, and then straighten that front leg. Place your hands on your waist. And just take a breath here. Maybe in through the nose, exhale out the mouth. And break time over. Come back into your warrior. Parallel your arms down towards the front of the mat. And once your hands come down, then you can lift the back heel up, come into a runner's lunge, and then kind of walk your hands forward of your foot, and then kick that back heel up for your standing split. Trying to point the toes straight down. So your hips are in line, just like when we were doing bird dogs. And on an exhale, you can bring that back foot to meet the front and come into a forward fold. And bending the knees a lot. Lift the torso up for chair pose, Utkatasana. Looking down, you should be able to see your big toes. Lifting your torso up as much as you can, sinking your seat as low as you can. Pulling the abs up and in. Spine is long. One more breath like this. Let's inhale, reach both arms up and straighten both legs. And exhale, arms come to either side of the hips. Tadasana. You can maybe shake out that right leg if it feels good. And you can bring the feet to be hip width apart. Take a deep inhale through the nose and sigh out the mouth. Notice your heartbeat. And let's take a sun flow. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward from the hips, letting the head dangle. Inhale, fingertips to shins, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms. Either step it back to dog or you feel flow through your plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Roll the shoulder blades back, pressing the hips into the mat. Then exhale, curling the toes under. We all meet in our downward facing dog. Making any movements that feel good. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, lift the left leg up this time. Bend the knee, stack your hips. Exhale, bring that knee towards your nose and step it between your palms. Bringing your block closer to you if you think you're going to use it soon. And grow to the inseam of that back foot. Cartwheel your arms up, pushing into your feet for your warrior two. Again, rooting into both feet. Strong stance, strong gaze. Shoulders directly over the hips. Open the chest wide. Really be intentional with where your body is in space. Let's move into our side angle pose. Exhale, maybe you're placing your forearm on your thigh and reaching your right arm up overhead. And trying to stack the shoulders. Breathing deep, just as deep as in the beginning of class. As long as your spine stays nice and long, you should be able to continue to breathe. And that's the most important part. Inhale, let's push back up through warrior. And exhale, left arm up, right arm comes down to that back side. And I like to gaze down at my right big toe. but you can keep your gaze wherever is most comfortable for you. Inhale, come back up to warrior. Straighten that front leg, take your momentary pause, maybe hands on the hips. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale, sigh out the mouth. Let's rebend that front foot, cartwheel your arms down, pop up onto your back toes, walk your fingertips forward, and come into your standing split here. Not worrying about how high that back leg comes. Just let the upper body sink low and then kick that leg back. This is really about your standing leg. I'm sure you can feel it when it's burning up, but strengthening the legs is so important for our body. One more big inhale, and then on an exhale, bring your back foot up to meet the front foot. Lean forward. Bend your knees a lot. Let's inhale, lift the torso up for your chair pose. Gazing down at your big toes. Really feel a strong line of energy from the crown of your head to your tail. Sink 1 inch lower. Now let's inhale, reach both arms up, straighten the legs. And exhale, float the arms down to meet at either side of the hips. And maybe shake out this left leg. That feels the best. We kind of take a little walk here, right? And then hang out in Tadasana for a few breaths. Maybe another cleansing breath in through the nose. And exhale, sigh out the mouth. Let's inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Let the head dangle. Inhale, fingertips to your shins. Exhale, plant the palms. Step it back, either straight to your dog, or you can flow through your plank and through to cobra pose. And exhale, push into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Bend your knees, stack your hips if you like. Exhale, bring your knee towards your nose. Plant that foot down. Roll to the inseam of that back leg. Come on up. Warrior 2. And straighten that front leg. I like to bring the back of my right hand along the inseam of my front leg to come into triangle pose. And you can use your block here as well. So if you need to grab that, put that on the next to your heel. And press into that. Really just trying to stack your shoulders. Inhale, come on up. And reverse your warrior on the exhale. Then reverse your triangle. Inhale, come up. Kind of your warrior. Grabbing your block. Bring your block in front of your front foot. Maybe stepping that back foot forward a foot or two. You want this to be a couple of feet in front of your foot. Then press down into your block a little bit. You kind of press up from your block. And then lift that back leg up like we did at the beginning of class in the modified side planks. You might need to shift your front foot so your foot's about 45 degrees instead of facing directly towards the block. Then lifting that left arm up, as you see me doing here, as you feel ready. Now, if you're set up next to a wall, you can hold onto the wall while you're working on this. Or if you have a wall that's tall, like I have this angle here, so I can't really show you. But if you stand right up next to the wall, you can actually lean up against the wall. So you might want to try that. Or if you're just using the block, just make sure you're near the wall. Because it's not a simple posture. And no matter who you are, you definitely need a block unless your arms are very long. Because you want your torso to be parallel to the ground. So after either holding this or taking several attempts at it, we'll tap those back toes back down, come into, bring your both toes both facing towards the long edge of the mat, hands to hips, and let's fold forward and sway side to side, letting the head dangle, be heavy. Rest your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift halfway, back parallel to the ground. Exhale here. Let's inhale, push both feet into the mat to lift your torso all the way back up. And toe heel your feet closer together and come into your Tadasana at the top of the mat. Taking a few breaths here. Notice how you feel. Take a few deep breaths here. And we'll inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Let it hang. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the palms, step back. You can go straight to dog, or again, inhale, plank pose. Exhale, Bhujangasana. Inhale and exhale, and push it back. to your downward facing dog. We'll all meet here. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So let's inhale, bring that left leg up this time. Bending the knee if you like, stacking the hips. And exhale. Bring that foot forward. Maybe carry it if you needed to. Come up through your warrior two, pushing through both feet and straighten that front leg and come into your triangle pose. Again, using the block if you like. Having your block close by is going to make the transition into Ardha Chandrasana easier if you had trouble with that on the opposite side. Breathing into the rib cage. Let's inhale, lift the torso up, pushing your feet into the mat, and exhale, right arm down, left arm overhead. Stretching into the side body. And really, even though both legs are straight, really still anchoring into both feet. Doesn't feel quite as challenging when you're not in the warrior leg, but I still want us to have that same energy. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale, grabbing onto your block, bending that front knee a bit, stepping that back foot forward, and then finding your way into your Ardha Chandrasana. Take your time, just find your position, find your balance, use your props, use the wall, whatever you need to do to feel comfortable lifting this back leg up, maybe placing your hand on the hip so you can energetically like be pulling that hip back. So you're stacking your hips, really opening your chest out. And then if you're ready, reaching that right arm up directly over the shoulder. I typically like to stay looking down in this posture. Sometimes I'll look kind of to the diagonal, or sometimes I'll stay just looking at my hand. You can gaze forward if you like. That might be a little bit, not too bad. Just whatever feels good for your neck here. Make sure your neck stays in line with the rest of the spine. You still want that long spine, just like we've been talking about all of class. A few more reps here. And bring the toes back down, coming into your warrior. And then pointing all your toes towards the long edge of your mat. And I will turn around for you guys. We'll fold forward. So hands on the hips and hinge forward from the hips. And sway the torso side to side. Finding a stretch in your hips here and backs of your legs. Now take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale, sigh out the mouth. Let it go. Let everything drop out of the top of your head. Hands come to your hips. Inhale, lift your torso halfway. Exhale here. and push your legs into the mat to come up to stand. Bring your feet together, come to the top of the mat, Shavasana, palms shine forward or to either side of the room. Roll the shoulder blades down and relax away from your ears. You're closing your eyes if it feels good. Notice how you feel. And one last sun flow. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, back is parallel to the mat. Exhale, fold, plant the palms, step it back, plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. And take cobra pose. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, let's push into a child's pose. So your knees can stay together if you like, or you can bring them as wide as the mat. Hips come to the heels. Your forehead comes down to the mat, or onto your block, or onto your hands, whatever feels good to you. Let's take 5 deep breaths here in this child's pose. Letting the body be in stillness for a while. And push your palms into the mat, lifting your torso up. Just sit on your heels upright. Maybe cup your palms in your lap, palms facing up. And move into a more meditative mindset if you're not already there. Notice your heartbeat slowing down. And gently bring both legs out in front of you. You may want to sit on your blanket or cushion for this next bit. So make sure you're sitting on the front edge of that cushion so your hips can roll forward. And coming into Chandrasana, straight legs, feet about hip width apart, flex your feet, and just kind of hinge forward from the hips. You want to keep your spine nice and tall. So again, broken record here, crown of head to the tailbone. Keep that nice and tall and just hinge forward, maybe leading with the chest. You can bring your palms face up on either side of your leg. And if you find even with the cushion that you're not hinging forward at all, you can always kind of push your hands into the mat next to your hips just to get that started. Increasing this range of motion in this posture is a very lengthy process. It takes a lot of patience. And just breathe deep and let your body relax. And you can flip your palms, push your torso back up to neutral if it's not there. And bring the soles of the feet down to the mat and bring your left ankle over the top of your right thigh. And then maybe pull that right foot in a little ways for a seated ankle to knee. So a seated pigeon pose. I like to bring my hands a little back behind me. So my upper body is angled a bit backward. And then rocking my figure four structure side to side. And you don't have to rock it side to side. You can just hold here and feel that stretch. You should feel it in the outer left hip. And imagine your breath can go directly into where you can feel this the most, right there in the hip. Now you can push your torso back up. Maybe bring that right leg straight again. And you can keep this left foot on the right side of your right leg. And then hug your knee in and reach your left arm behind you for a twist. If it doesn't feel good with your left foot on the right side, you can bring it back to the side it came from and then do the same thing. And just a really gentle twist here. You don't need to hug too tightly or crank your way over there. It's not going to help your spine. And if this twist doesn't feel good at all, just skip it altogether, please. Let's inhale, unwind, re-straighten that leg, and Paschimottanasana once more, holding straight forward, flexing both feet. And you really want to press your thighs downward, but try to get the muscles in your legs to relax, which I know is confusing. It takes a while to understand it. But once you really understand the language of your body, you'll be able to understand what it needs to really heal itself. And push your torso back up again. And do that figure four on the other side. So bring that foot, left foot up a little bit, right ankle comes over to left knee, and find your spot where you'll find not too much, but not too little. allowing the right knee to drift away from your face to intensify the stretch. And after another breath or so, and straighten that front leg. And either just planting this foot on the opposite side or bringing it back to the right side and taking your twist here. With each inhale, let your spine grow taller. And with each exhale, maybe come a little tiny bit deeper into the twist. And on your next exhale, let's unwind. Paschimottanasana one more time. And then push yourself up. Bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Go up on your cushion if you like. And come into a butterfly fold, same thing. Keeping the spine nice and long. And just leading the fold with your chest. Spine is in one line. You can have your palms maybe face up on the mat again. And the closer your heels are to your body, the more intense this will feel. You can always move them away from your body. You can bring your knees even to 90 degrees if you like. Whatever feels good for you. This is your practice. And flip the palms, push the torso back up to neutral. Maybe bring your feet as wide as the mat and dip your knees in for a windshield wiping motion if that feels good. Or you can just shake out your legs, maybe like this. Anything you feel like you want to do before we move into Shavasana, you can move your props out of the way. And come slowly, one vertebra at a time, to lie down on your back. Taking up as much space as you can. Notice how your body feels. We'll do a body scan to check in with the whole body. So starting with the toes, maybe give them a wiggle for a second and let them relax. Soles of the feet, halves of the feet, the ankles, the shins and the calf, both knees, both thighs, your hips and low belly, your mid belly and low back, upper back and your chest, shoulders, upper arms, elbows, your forearms, your wrists, and down to your fingers, maybe giving them a brief wiggle. And coming back up to your collarbone, your neck, relax the jaw, relax the muscles around the eyes and the forehead, and the muscles in the skull. And just let everything relax. I'll take probably about 10 deep breaths here, allowing yourself to be here. Take up space and be still. And deepen your breath. Come back to your breath. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Reach your arms up overhead. You can stay in Shavasana if you like, or you can shift over to one side. And gently pushing yourself up to take a seat. Closing the eyes. Palms face down on the thighs. Taking another few moments to observe what the body is feeling. You can bring your palms together to touch. Anjali Mudra. And give yourself gratitude for coming to the mat today. And of course, I recommend you can stay in meditation for as long as you like. But I'm going to close our practice together by chanting Om. You can join if you like. Exhale, breathe all the air out of the body. And inhale deep. Om. And dipping the chin. You can blink the eyes open. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you feel open and strong. Please let me know how this class made you feel. Give it a like, subscribe if you don't, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste.